Okay. Here, you gotta put your microphone on. All right, did you find the live stream?
No.
Here.
I was trying to find the brightness.
Oh. All
Actually,
right.
I could probably just find it on my phone.
I just thought it'd be easier on here. Okay, I think it's, I'm not sure which one's going. Okay, so let me see. I think this is it. Turn off the sound. All right, so is there anybody in chat right now? I've got the chat on, I think. Chat on. Oh, great. I can't tell if it's, oh, okay, it is. Oh, great. All right, you're gonna have to turn that sound off or it's gonna start cycling. You got the chat right here that you can see.
I think there's one in there. I can't see none of that.
You can't see that? Mm-mm. All right, so we
bright.
are doing a live stream today, kind of out of the blue. Very much pieced together. You know, we've just been... Now
people are starting to connect.
Yeah. I was trying to launch it so that it notified people ahead of time, but that just didn't work. It's been, I think it's been like, those of you who've been watching for a long time, how long has it been? I want to say at least 4 years since I've done a live stream.
I needed my sunglasses.
I was looking for mine, and I think they're in my cabin somewhere. It is very bright out here. So we are in the house right now. This is our big 16-foot slider door window right here. But the sun is bouncing off the subfloor, so it's very blinding. Oh, we do have a couple of people. We've got Judy and hey, Leg Arms, good to see you, bud. And Jesse and Chad, thank you so much. I know you guys, I know one of you Welkers built a house. I didn't really pick up on.
I think they both did. Leg Arms started first and then.
Different house builds?
Yeah.
Oh, I am not with it. All right. Well, I remember watching them dig this septic line out of the house. And I was like, dang. Yeah, that rocky soil I would not want to be digging through. Hey, from Louisiana, Jason. Jason's on here, of course. All right. So we are in the house right here. There's actually more done on the house than what you can see. So we have 4 walls up right now. They're not solid walls, but more or less the structure is there. We still have to do the garage. This week we're going to be doing what? The garage, the rafters,
trusses.
Trusses. What's the difference between a truss and a rafter? Roof.
I think a rafter is something.
Floor truss. Are there roof trusses too?
These are parallel cord truss, so there's no attic.
Right. So there are a couple different engineerial, making up words here, type of things that we've put together for this build. They're kind of upgrades that Eric wanted to make it structurally more sound. And we've got insulation that's going to go blowing across the screen. Take out the camera, poof.
Wouldn't it be cool if we could get those beams? Like not drywall them, just leave them exposed.
I don't know.
That would look kind of cool, wouldn't it?
You're just talking out loud. Nobody can see what you're even looking at.
I know they can't. They have to wait.
All right. So, one of the things that we do have to go through on one of these days when we get a few free moments is to talk about what we did differently for this house build versus a normal house. I say the word normal loosely because this had to be specifically engineered for the design that we did, where most houses, more or less, they're kits. You know, even if you come up with your, house design of your own, pretty much it's still a kit house. It still has the same dimensions that most houses have. But because there were so many things that we changed on this plan, everything is completely custom from the studs to the windows we use standard windows.
Kind of. Well, besides that window was The trapezoid window was custom made.
Yeah. How was the build? Is it on schedule? Well, that's a good question. Would you say the build is on schedule?
It's a little behind because all the rain we've been dealing with. So like instead of getting 5 full days of work, they might get 3 days of work.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we've built a house before, so we know how much we got done in a week, not working on it all day.
I mean, I don't care. Like, it's like they're being paid by the job, so it's like,
right. So it's to their benefit to get it done sooner so they can work on other jobs. But
we rented the SkyTrack for a month.
Yeah.
So
Eric's kind of, so we have a SkyTrack. Was that in one of the videos before? Oh, wait.
Well, you got it delivered.
Was it? Okay, yeah, when they first got here. Yep. Because we lifted, because that was lifted with a SkyTrack, wasn't it? We were rotating between tractors and SkyTracks for lifting stuff. So I can't keep track of what's lifting what. But yeah, so that's a big expense. The SkyTrack is definitely a big expense. But we're estimating that we'll be able to seal it off within a month. So we're hopefully starting roofing next week. In my mind, it's on track. There's always, weather hits it at oddball times, and that definitely can throw you out. So that's why they're trying to get, at least the roof on, roofing and siding, and then they're going to work on the interior walls.
I think once the roof is done, then we won't need the SkyTrack anymore.
Yeah. So, pretty much the builders, they're doing just the rough stuff. So they're going to dry everything in. That was our goal. I know it's kind of backwards for most house builds, but we wanted everything dried and sealed so that we could work on all the rest of the inside stuff fall through winter time. So I'd say we are on track to, accomplish that goal. Hello from Wisconsin.
Hello, baby.
Let's see. It looks like a jigsaw puzzle.
Hi, baby.
Northern Colorado. Rafter is a board. And we have our last remaining puppy still here. This is Juliet. She has been having so much fun on the construction site. As you can see, she's been eating grass and rolling in the basement water. And she says, it's just a little hot out here.
It is hot out here.
She's a tough one to keep inside.
Oh, you're kind of sleepy.
You're going to give Dad kisses? Yeah. So she is still for sale. If you're interested, let me know. She's a French Bulldog. Loves being outside, loves adventures. The only reason she hasn't sold yet is because she's terrified of small children. Which was, kind of a long story, but she runs and hides from small
Can you
kids.
read the chat? I can't see any of it.
Oh, yeah. So Jason Bush said a rafter is a board.
Oh, yeah.
So what type of flooring trusses are we going with for this build?
What kind of flooring truss?
Yeah.
They're engineered truss.
Engineered truss. So normally they want what are they called? I-beams?
I-joist.
I-joist. So the I-joist is the standard that most people are putting into houses because they're cheaper to build. The problem with the I-joist is that you've got a long, skinny chunk of plywood running down the diameter of your floor that you have to cut holes through to run all of your plumbing and HVAC and all of that stuff. And it's a little bit of a pain. We opted to go with floor trusses.
Well, I want to leave them open and paint it all black, so it kind of like industrial
look for it later on when we finish off the basement. But they are a little bit more structurally stronger than the I-joists, aren't they?
Yeah, you can run farther spans with them.
So being able to run a little bit longer span is beneficial for this type of build. But the biggest issue we've been facing is the walls. Obviously the floor is a floor, but the walls to be able to support the load, because it is technically on paper a 2-story house, but to engineer it, it's not, because you don't have the inside floors supporting your walls.
You're going with twice the length of
a
material.
Standard. Yeah. So, but not only that, not only are we, of course, we're using 2x6s. That's code.
We had to do engineered lumber.
Yeah, we're using engineers. We're using LVLs.
LSL.
I can't get that right. LSL.
LVRs are the headers.
Laminated structural.
And we have some PSLs, which are structural columns.
Yeah, the PSLs, those are some beefcakes. There's some solid chunks of wood. So there's a lot of, but the big thing is, so we were going to have the video released today, and this is a doozy of a video. The big ugly wall, as I call it, is actually a gorgeous wall, but I call it big ugly because it was a very ugly lift. Thankfully, Eric was gone. He wasn't here for it.
She won't even show me any footage on it.
I will not show him the footage of the lift. No.
She says I have to wait till the video gets.
He has to wait to see the video, just like you guys do. You can obviously look at the finished product, but I feel like it'd be better. I wanted to get the rest of the walls up first before he could watch it. So that, because he was panicking watching the sidewall go up over here. Then I'm like, oh, that's nothing compared to the big wall. So, yeah, so that's going to be a really epic video. I'm really excited for that one. Unfortunately, we could not get it done today. Is that the wind or the dog?
I don't know.
Maybe it's a house ghost and we don't even have a roof on yet. Okay. Random. So anyway, so my video editor, he's dealing with power and internet issues right now, and they're waiting for that to come back on. So
well, Microsoft had issues where Windows wouldn't load up. It would just give you that blue screen.
Oh, that's fun.
You didn't hear about that?
No, I didn't.
That's what the outage was all about.
Outages everywhere. So anyway, yes, I could go through and edit it down, but it would be as awesome. No, he does a killer job at editing this stuff down, especially taking out my talking. He does a great job of that. So I'm going to leave it in his hands to do all of his magic on. I've already given him like the different minute points.
These guys have probably learned how to do selective hearing.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so that video is coming out next week. You'll get to see the big wall go up. So definitely stay tuned for that. Yeah, and then the other walls are coming up at different points. But there were other channels that have, funny enough, like everyone seems to be on the same page with building projects. At least some of the channels we've been watching. There were 2 other channels this week, like yesterday and today, that posted lifting giant walls. It was just like, it's crazy. Everyone's doing these big wall lifts. I'm like, my video is just a week late, but it's okay. It'll be good. It'll still be worth it. When's
that video supposed to come
out? Next week, Sunday. So we're releasing
a week
videos
from today?
Yeah, because I'm releasing it every Sunday.
Oh, wow.
So you're going to have to wait a whole nother week.
Are you putting out a different video?
That's the video I'm putting out. Well, I do have another video. It's coming out. It's probably already out, actually. If you've already seen the video that just came out, leave me a comment in the messages. It came out at, I think, 3:15, or maybe it's coming out at, no, I think it's going to come out at 3:30. So let's see, it's 3:38. Yeah, it should already be out. So it's the time lapse of the basement going up, just kind of showing it from like ground zero.
I think you should stand next to the big wall and give them a teaser clip.
I don't know that you can capture it in effect. There it goes again. I know you might want to do most of the construction yourself. Just don't be afraid to sub out a few subcontractors. For your build timeline, don't overstretch yourself. Yes.
We already have plumbing subbed out.
It may take you a month and a half to do, but pros might be able to get it done in 2 weeks. Eric, have you ever fished with a whopper plopper? Hey, Wes is in the house. Hey there, Wesley. How's your kiddo doing?
Is that for bass fishing? Sounds like it.
Whopper plopper?
I haven't done a lot of bass fishing, really. Just catching them on accident.
We haven't gone out at all this year, actually, because we've just been, doing the farm, doing the build, just always doing something. We just got done with second cutting hay yesterday, stacked the last of it this morning. So it was a little bit thinner than what we were expecting, given how much rain we got. But, the temperatures are also a little bit higher than what the grass likes, so it doesn't grow quite as vigorously. It works for pike too. Pike would be fun to catch.
I want to go walleye fishing. Does it work for walleye?
Let's see. Growing up fast, almost 6. Oh, I was gonna guess about 5 or 6. This is a collab I would like to see you do. Go visit Wes after the build is done. Yeah, well, Wes can come out here too and help us put together the house. We'll have him climb up on the roof. Can install the soffit lighting for us, Wes.
We need to get someone with an excavator, dig our pond out.
Yeah, one of these days, we'll have to get together with One Lonely Farmer. I know a lot of you guys probably don't remember, but I met Wes ages ago when Teresa was still hiding her little baby bump, but I figured it out because she had a pillow over her stomach. I'm like, how far along are you? She's like, how did you know? And I'm like, I can tell. That was at Ryan's How Farms Work meet and greet event.
That was the very first year you were starting to do YouTube.
I think it was. No,
it
was year 2, actually. Year 2. It was 2018 because I remember I was hoping to hit, I think, 20,000 subs by the time I got there. I don't remember what I was at. I don't know. I just remember like that goal in my head. I'm rebuilding my bathroom the past couple of days. Uh-oh. That sounds like a doozy. Did something happen? Did the toilet like explode? Did little Willie put something down the toilet? We actually didn't have any issue with that with Aaron. I don't think he ever put anything down the toilet. The other kids, the older kids, were the ones that, oddly enough, seemed to flush random things down the toilet just because they thought it was like a garbage disposal. Yeah.
So our windows are in.
No, and yes. I don't remember what order that was. Yes, as in, something went flushed down the toilet. What were you saying?
I said our windows are in and they're waiting to be delivered till the roof is on.
The windows are at the manufacturers. Yeah, they're not in as in like in the house.
No,
yeah,
they're in the warehouse.
So we have our windows. And the part that I was kind of concerned about, I was worried that they were going to forget our giant door. Because it is a showroom piece, they have to be able to remove it and then store it somewhere. But they just called Eric up and they said, hey, we're pulling that door out. When do you want it? Well, sorry, slamming my microphone. So that was a relief because they were still planning to deliver it, because otherwise we'd have to find something else to do with that.
Well, my concern is like, I know when you buy that brand new, it's going to come all packaged in a crate.
They'll still put it in a crate.
I don't know. I hope.
They're not just going to.
Because that's be pretty big to try to move around.
Well, they're actually going to deliver the big giant window door. So another, what, $300 or $500 to deliver it?
I don't remember.
They were going to package it up. So that's going to be another one you guys are going to want to watch. Is just praying that our construction crew can get that in safely, because if that sucker drops, it's game over, because there's no replacement for it. It is the last of its kind.
Well, we'd have to go with a different style.
Well, I mean, I don't know that we could afford another one. That was
we have insurance now if anything gets broken.
Yeah, I guess. But then you still have to order it. I don't know. I mean, so
do you imagine if they're like installing it and it goes?
No, I don't want to hear that. I mean, I already watched the wall go up, and I'm not going to give anything away, but
all I know, I haven't seen it, but the worker said there's some popping and banging going on.
I flushed a small bottle down the other toilet plug. Well, he said William flushed a bottle down the toilet. Oops. Well, I guess you got to do that at least once. So what was some of the other things we're going to discuss? One of the big things that's kind of like the unspoken elephant in the room is heating and cooling. I mean, cooling, I'm not too concerned about that, because the number of windows we have in here, we've got the basement, if it gets too hot up here, we can go in the basement. I'm fine with that. I actually don't like using air conditioning because I'd rather have. So I'm
The
hoping.
basement's really nice.
Yeah, the basement's really nice. So all at least right here. So
We were doing some
we'll
work in the
see.
basement today, and it's nice breeze coming through.
Yeah, it was interesting because even though this isn't a outside of it, and it wasn't shaded or anything yet, but just the breeze flowing in through the window holes just really kind of like right now we've got a nice breeze blowing in through here. So I'm hopeful that it'll be pretty decent in summertime. But we are gonna have a black roof. I know, Jason. I know you complained. I complained about it initially, but I'm just like, shingles are black.
Yeah, why are shingles black? To melt the snow, right? I don't
Well,
know.
not all shingles are black.
No.
I mean, there's brown and there's white.
Well, the most common ones
Are
are
black.
dark brown or black.
Yeah, I don't know. That is a good question. Keeps. The floor is nice during hot days. It helps. Oh, tile floor. It helps keep it cool. So we are looking. We're not fully decided yet, but we're looking at doing some hickory wood floor, like genuine hickory. Eric found a supplier in Kentucky.
It's unfinished. It is tongue and groove.
Yeah. So we would have a lot of hard labor to put that in. And I watched my dad put hardwood floor in his house, and I know it's a long process, but hickory is one of my favorite woods out there. And our cabinets in our kitchen are actually half of them are hickory, so it would play well. But we'll see. We'll see how things go. But yes, as far as subcontracting things out, obviously we're subcontracting out the main shell. And even if Eric wasn't working full time, even if we had all the time in the world,
I don't know if I'd want to. Yeah.
Even some of the builders were a little sketched out by some of the stuff on the house. It's not your standard. Yeah. Because with a 2-story house, typically you build the ground floor first, and then you build the second story, and then you lift it into place. So you're still dealing with, 8 to 9 feet at a shot, not 20 plus feet in one round. So it's a totally different creature to work with. And I don't even know that I think we would both have gray hair just getting the shell done. So that was probably one of the smartest decisions we made was having the shell done first. I mean, all of the interior stuff we could do if we really wanted to. Electrical, I could do. Eric knows how to do drywall, but he's thinking about subbing that out too because he's not sure. The ceiling stuff?
No, we'll see.
We'll see. Ceiling stuff, I don't know.
We did pick up some scaffolding.
Yeah. So funny enough, so my dad, he has, was it 22 feet to the peak of his? So after I graduated high school, you know how parents are, they like get into these projects. Oh, kids out of their house, let's do something fun. So they put this massive addition on the side of their house, which is very similar to ours. It's a 2-story, but it's half sunken into the ground. So they dug out like 4 to 5 feet into the ground, and then they started it there and brought it up. But it's 22 feet into the peak. And so he's been working on this for 20 years, and they're finally getting it finished. And so he had this scaffolding in there, and he called me up. He's like, hey, do you need to use this scaffolding by chance? I'm like, we were just talking about that. I'll come pick it up tomorrow. So we were down there and grabbed that, took that down. So it helped him out because he didn't have to take it down. Eric was able to take the pieces apart, and
that was a little sketchy too.
Yeah, that was definitely not something I want my dad doing. And my stepmom was trying her best to help out with stuff, but you reach a certain point in your life, you're like, just let the kids do it, and that's what kids are for, really. The tallest walls I've built as a contractor was 36 feet on a casino. Talk about tall walls.
Wow.
Yeah, it gets. So you do that whole thing on the ground and then you stand it up, or did you do it piece by piece, like chunk by chunk? Because even the big tall walls that were done on YouTube that we're referring to, they all built them on the ground and then they stood them up. One was really, really, really long. That was by our builders. Was he the one that did that?
Yeah, he's doing a 300-foot
Yeah, so he had a
storage building
really
right now, and he's standing 80-foot sections at a time.
80 feet. Well, like, what is the total length of ours? You said that was 80 feet?
With the garage?
Yeah,
92.
92. So, I mean, that wouldn't be that much different.
Oh, we did end up switching our sheeting. We started out with plywood, 5/8 plywood, and we were finding a lot of sheets delaminating. So we ended up returning that and went with 5/8
OSB.
OSB.
Yeah, that was kind of a bummer because the plywood is usually a superior product, but the stuff that he got was select grade, which is
It's not terrible.
It wasn't, but it just wasn't really
You just would have to sort
house-worthy.
through it.
Yeah. The guy assured Eric that it'd be fine for a house, it'd be good, but it was just a little bit more hassle than it was worth. And we put some pieces up and they already cut those. Did they take those off?
Also, we went with
painted them over.
most homes go with 7/16, but my builder wanted 5/8 because we're doing steel siding and it's heavier than vinyl, so he wanted something to grip to.
Hi, puppy. Oh, that was the one down there that was bubbling out.
Yeah, I already told Eamon there was a few that are gonna have to get replaced.
And I'm like, oh, look, it sealed itself back up.
We'll just have to get some red paint and put an X on them. I think there's 2 or 3 pieces.
I'm late to the party. Old Yeller. Oh, shoot, I forgot this isn't a touch screen. All right. So I gotta catch up on this. Talk about tall walls and heavy. Yes, it was on ground and 2 telehandlers to lift it in. Yeah, I could imagine. So we had one that lifted our front wall, and yeah, it didn't exactly go up in one piece.
I lifted a 19-foot wall with the TYM tractor. That sidewall.
Yeah, but that's like just sticks. That's
it's still tall though.
That's a skeleton.
It's still tall.
Would not be afraid to go with an outdoor boiler. Let's see. Did you ever figure out what you're doing with heat? I know we talked about some options in a prior video. We have not figured that out yet. We haven't really even looked into it.
Outdoor boiler would be nice, but my neighbor has one and he uses like...
It's pure 30, I'd say.
My neighbor goes through 14 cord of wood with his outdoor boiler.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
That's one of the concerns with an outdoor boiler is they're kind of they're wood hungry wood guzzlers. And I mean, if you guys have stories about how many cords you go through and the square footage of your house, I would love to hear it. Definitely would.
You can get a glassification one, and they go through half the wood.
Yeah.
But your wood has to be select wood seasoned for 2 to 3 years. Because they burn, like a regular boiler will burn anything you put in it, but the glassification ones, they burn. You have literally no ash. They burn like
everything. I'm still partial to wood stoves.
I want a wood stove.
The biggest issue with a wood stove is that you have to be able to vent your chimney.
I'm thinking right there.
So Eric wants to put it. Maybe I can turn this really quick. Hopefully my camera doesn't fall out. All right, I'm going to show you this. Not that you're supposed to see this yet, but he wants to put. Now I'm thinking rise this so it'll come up through floor.
Or you could do a wood furnace.
Or wood furnace, you know, that's an option too. We've got so much wood. The trees fall down. As soon as you take the trees out of the woods, more fall down. It's just mind-boggling. So I think we'd run out of wood at some point. But
the system I wanted to go with, they outlawed it in the United States.
Oh yeah.
It's made by Napoleon, a Canadian company. It was biofuel. It would run wood or propane. It just didn't meet EPA standards for something.
EPA standards. Wasn't guzzling enough jet fuel.
But
do I like Jeeps? I like looking at custom Jeeps. I'm not a huge off-roading type of person. Eric likes off-roading. I've just had too many close calls with stuff.
She's not a daredevil.
Well, the one time Eric took me on a snowmobile, I was riding in the tow behind sled. I think that's
no,
what it
you're
was.
on the back and I tipped it over.
No, you threw me into a tree. I said just drive gentle. I have never been on a snow, and he just guns it. And I get thrown right into a tree, and I was just like terrified after that.
This story is getting very deep.
Well, and then the time that you took me on the dirt bike, on the back of your dirt bike, and I'm like, just take it easy. And he starts like trying to ramp stuff and go extra fast. And
oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I have friends that have Jeeps. Actually, it's funny because most of the people that buy our Frenchton Bulldogs have a Jeep. It's kind of like the running joke. It's probably about 75% of them either have a Jeep or recently sold one or plan to buy one. So it must come with the breed. I don't know. But no, I don't. I'm not a huge like.
I like Jeeps, but I don't really like driving them on the road. I don't know. Maybe a 4-door might be different.
I don't know.
I actually had a Jeep a long time ago.
Some of the newer outdoor boilers only burn up to 8 quarts a year.
Yeah, the glassification ones.
We had a wood. I like wood stoves. I like the ambient heat that they give off. I like the fact you can take your winter stuff and dump it in front of the wood stove. But then that would kind of mean that the kids would have to. Kids, I say that plural like we have more than one now.
It would be
it would be and his friends, I guess.
It would be pretty much maxing this because most wood stoves I see are good for 2,000 square feet. So it'd be running to the max.
Well, I mean,
it would be just. I mean, you would have propane for backup. So,
and if you get, oh my gosh, I thought the dog was gonna jump out the window. She's already on the other side, so. I mean,
I heard a lot of people have a hard time because it gets too hot with a wood stove.
Yeah. Yep.
They have to open windows.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. That's why I'm more leery of inside stoves. Yeah. So we'll probably have to go meet with a heating specialist to talk about.
You have to check with your insurance company too.
Yeah, that's probably a good starting point. See what you can legally have covered. You don't want to put something in and have it like destroy your house, and the insurance company's like, don't cover that. Sorry.
Honestly, the chimney wouldn't be crazy tall if you went right here, coming up.
Well, my understanding is, and correct me if I'm wrong, that your chimney has to be slightly above the tallest point of your house to catch the updraft and downdraft or whatever draft it is it needs.
I wonder if you could put 2 wood stoves in, one in the basement, one up here, and then pipe the chimneys together. Or would they have to go side by side?
They have to go side by side. You could have them like sister up next to each other. Well, but maybe you couldn't because they still would be sucking the oxygen, and maybe having them next to each other would interfere. I don't know. It's the expert to know this. Well, but you think about castles in old Victorian homes. Isn't that how they did? They'd stack them all up in a line and have them all coming up in the same spot. I thought that they were like, if in my head I'm picturing this, like they're all just like stacked up. I don't know. I think most insurance companies nowadays don't like to insure houses with wood stoves. Yeah. What did you miss? Hey, Andrea, good to see you. Yeah. So we were just talking about, we're talking about the big ugly wall, which is a beautiful wall, but how much of a
nail biter?
Yeah, it's a nail biter. So that's next week's video. Honestly, I have to say though, guys, like when you see your house on paper and you're like, the blueprints. Sorry, I'm looking at the computer like you're up there. Sorry, I know that's rude to not look at you when I'm talking to you. You look at it on the blueprints and you're like, it looks kind of plain. I don't know if that's gonna look that good. Those look a little small. I don't know. But when you see it in person, you're like, huh, wow. Okay, yeah, that does look like exactly what I wanted. So that just came together so perfectly.
You know what blew me away? The windows. I had no idea the windows were going to be that big. Like on paper, they don't look that big, but in person, it's like, oh my gosh, those are freaking huge.
I think the trapezoid window threw me in just a little bit. I was like, because this whole wall next to us that you can't see, we're looking at everything you guys can't see, Andrea. So all that stuff's coming out on video next week and the week after, because we're going to be like...
Even that window up there is like, that was supposed to be almost twice as big as that.
The 3-window
Yeah,
window.
I was going to have 2 more bays on there.
Yeah, we've got a lot of windows. A lot of windows. We have a lot of big windows.
That window was going to go into that doorway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So one of the drawbacks of windows, obviously, is efficiency. So I'm not sure how it's going to play into things. These are midline windows. They're not top grade, not bottom grade, but they're mid grade. But we still spent $20,000 on windows.
They're fiberglass windows, so they're pretty nice.
Yeah. Yep. But I mean, that was our budget. Was about 20. Well, our budget was 30.
That doesn't include the doors. That's just windows.
So we actually are at budget with doors and windows. We spent another 10 grand on the doors, and we got our doors for all of our doors were a great deal. Well, except for the one we ordered from Home Depot. That was $1,000 for a...
Oh, the doggy door.
Yeah.
I saved a ton of money by driving to Indiana and picking up a couple doors.
So, I mean, if you guys are doing a build, I mean, sorry, it's like blasting you with sun all of a sudden.
Yeah, I can't.
Facebook Marketplace.
I can't see anything. I'm like squinting out here.
Facebook Marketplace is the place to do your shopping. I don't know that it would necessarily work if you're remodeling, but if you're building a house from the ground up, you can literally build your house around whatever you can find on Facebook. I mean, case in point, guys, that kitchen bought for $5,000 out of a $2 million house 4 years ago, sitting in storage. That's cost us...
What did our builder say? He thought that'd be $70-some thousand.
$70,000 to $80,000 is what it would, if you were to put it in today. That's probably what it would run, if not more than that. I mean, we spent probably another $4,000 to $5,000 on our storage unit.
Well, how long?
4 years, $100 a month. Yeah. So that kind of sucks.
That's kind of what started the house. It's like, we need to get this out of storage. We're just either that or sell it.
Yeah. But we knew it was one of those once in a lifetime opportunities. And I mean, it's just a beautiful kitchen set, beautiful granite. So we actually designed the house around that kitchen. So the area we're in right now, probably a little bit more than a quarter of it is the kitchen. Which is like, it's huge. It's probably like...
Well, we gave the dimensions to our design lady.
Yeah.
And we're like, all right, make this kitchen fit in this house plan.
Right. She was so good at like putting everything together the way we wanted it. When we had to change stuff, that got a little dicier because Eric would have like 5 things to change and maybe 3 of them.
Oh, I changed a lot of stuff. I felt so bad. I felt so bad because I'm like...
He was changing stuff every single day. So she'd have to do a new print and a new print and a new print. But so it's Jet Designs, JET, out of Michigan. I think she's got a website. Her name is Julie, and she did a fantastic job putting everything together. I do wish... Was she the one that brought up the bathroom, or did we bring up the bathroom?
In the basement?
No, up here, about how it was too small. I think we finally looked.
No, that was me. I wanted to add...
Yeah.
I wanted... Because I got looking at the plans, and I'm like... I was so focused on the kitchen, dining room, living room. I didn't even look at the size of like the bathroom. I'm like, that bathroom's really narrow. We got to add 2 feet onto it. So we ended up adding... We went from 34 feet to 36 feet.
Oh, for the width of the house.
Just
yeah, the master bath. We didn't really.
I'm
put
glad
much
we did.
effort into.
I'm really glad we did.
Yeah, I mean, it opens up the living room too. I mean, otherwise, it'd be like right here. It would be like right on the base.
Well, it added 2 feet to the bedroom,
everything.
the living room, everything.
Yep. So, I mean, I do wish you would have pointed that out for us because that would have been a doozy if we'd put that in and we're like, oh, yeah, this bathroom is not very good. Chat disconnected. Nope, sorry. She gets paid, so don't feel bad. With every change you make, it costs you more money. I mean, it could. She didn't charge us for changes.
She only charged me once.
Yeah.
Like it was, and it was only $40.
She was really like she worked really good.
I think when I did the change on the width, she did charge me like.
Is this thing
$40.
still going? Because I don't have my phone charging, so I don't know if it's just randomly going to disconnect. I was like, all right, I'm going to plug my phone in. I can't tell. Okay. I guess it's still going.
I don't know. Refresh that.
I don't know what I just did. Sorry.
Closed it.
I think it's still running, but it's black. Everything's like blasted out with light.
Yeah, I can't see it. And I don't have my glasses on.
Oh, it's still running. Okay, thanks, guys. I'm from Pellston, Michigan. I've never even heard of Pellston. Hey, Raul. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, so if this randomly cuts out, it's just because my phone died. It doesn't like beep or anything to let me know that it's kind of like me when it's done. It crashes. I was telling Eric the other day that like sometimes I just walk off and I just go take naps somewhere random that nobody can find me.
Yeah, I guess the other day I was working in the basement and
we were putting up the big heavy wall in the basement, the one that we couldn't lift very easily, and then we finally got it up. I don't know, it hit me really bad, and I started like walking circles. I don't think that's on video because my editor took that out, but I was walking circles, and then I was gonna just like drop to the ground, so I like scurried over to the safe room, and I just curled up in a corner and fell asleep.
I didn't even notice you were gone.
15 minutes. I took a nap in the hayfield yesterday.
Nice and cool in there, huh?
It was, yeah. It was. Yeah, I'm just like, I just go and then I just drop. And then that's that for a little bit.
So what else with the build? Anything? Can you see any questions?
Something else. Yeah, I can see it over here. Washington State in the process of moving to Oklahoma. Well, if you're in Oklahoma, you definitely are going to want to have a storm shelter because I know that they do get some pretty serious tornadoes and things over there. So that's definitely something that I would do if I were in Oklahoma.
We've had more tornadoes this year in Michigan than we've ever had.
We had 11 in Michigan this year so far. It was crazy.
I mean, a couple of them were pretty close where we're at.
There were some sightings even in years previous, and a lot of the tornadoes just came through without warning. Like they would just like spin up, drop, cause catastrophic damage, and then be gone.
They're smaller ones, but they still do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Like category 1.
Yep. Well, I mean, even category 2. Yeah, they do. So that's why we do have the basement and the safe room. The basement's more for storage and puppy room, and you can't. It's really hard to take you guys down there to see what's going on in the basement because A, we'll lose Wi-Fi connection, but B, it's really dark down there. Eric wanted to actually live stream down there, but I'm like, you don't have any lights down there. But that will be really cool. Like we're looking at the living room area, which almost mirrors this area, but it's a little bit larger. So I'm like, man, this would be really nice to finish out as like an actual TV room. Because one of the problems that I'm kind of looking at in the space is, this is the living room right here. So where are we going to put the TV? Originally, we weren't going to have this big giant double slider. It was going to be a normal slider with a window next to it. So
maybe we won't even put a TV up here.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying skip the TV, have it downstairs because there's plenty of room down there.
That's where I plan on watching some TV.
And it would make sense because if it's cooler down there in the summertime anyway, you know, you're going to want to come home from work and just go right down to the basement. And then I'll have a door on the top.
Unless we put something on that wall. That would be kind of cool.
My water. I really don't. So we've got a really, I can't show you again because I'm not going to show you the progress before you get to see it in real time. We do, I'll talk about it in a video later on, but our side wall next to us right here has a nice big solid wall section. And the builders were like, how come you don't have any windows right here? I'm like, well, because that's where the stairs go. And really, you don't think we have enough windows already? Jason,
if you're still on here, I'm not getting a TV till I can get one bigger than your 86-inch. That's been my life goal. We don't even have time
to watch TV. Henry, I get a TV that pops out out of a unit in the lounge, so then you watch it when you want to. Yeah, my mom had one like that.
What about a projector on the wall?
Are those decent? Yeah, my friend Lauren has one. She has her TV pop out on the wall. Yeah, that's an option too. I mean, you could have a little thing come down and then, you know, but these days, I mean, anything's possible because everything's all electronic. It just depends on how much you want to spend for it.
You know, it'd be cool if the stairway was wider and the TV was on a track.
Oh, and it just...
So you could raise and lower it if you wanted to watch TV upstairs or have it go downstairs.
Oh my gosh, that would be hilarious. Yeah, that really wouldn't work though, because it'd be right in the dining room. But that would... All right, guys, we're going to send the TV downstairs. Everybody downstairs. Yeah, well, I mean, technically you could do it right there. And just have it come up in front of the window. Or you could do it right here. You could still do it right here.
There's a wall
underneath. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the walls aren't going to line up, though, so I know. Yeah, we're coming up with all these weird ideas for things.
That'd be kind of cool.
That's how this house got started, was Eric's weird ideas for things. Oh, look at this house plan. So this house plan was originally, it looked like a single wide trailer if you were to look at it. It was just long and narrow. So the other house that looks identical to ours that was also built in the Cedar Springs area, I think they followed that 2T to the house plan we found online, which was long, skinny, and narrow. So, I mean, it's a nice starter home because I think it was only, what, 1,300 square feet?
I don't know.
It was pretty tiny. It was more like a bungalow or a fancy cabin, if you will. But, I mean, you literally walk in to the house like you do with ours, and then boom, there's a living room wall like 10 feet away from you. And I couldn't stand that. I'm like, I don't want to walk in and see a wall. I want to walk in and see the backyard.
Well, this one, we put everything in here ourselves, like custom.
Eric just hacked apart that plan that he found. And he's like, all right, so let's do this, 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 and this, and this. And it was a 3-bay car garage. He took out one of the bays and turned it into a bedroom and mudroom. And
well, I think
added some feet on.
I added more house than garage. Like, yeah. I took some of the garage away and added some to the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, between Eric's planning and Julie's design work, I mean, it just like everything just clicked into place. The only regret that I have so far is the staircase going up into the loft cut out some of my pantry and some of my laundry room, which were already like right at the bare bones. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, when we like the loft was like a last minute idea,
Eric is a king of changing his mind on everything.
It was just going to be like cold storage.
I don't even know
with access from the garage. Like it was going to be attic space. And then I was like, let's do a loft.
Not going to lie. I miss the weather here and the green in the mountains. Are you happy with the builder so far? Yeah, we're pretty happy with them. I mean, they're a younger group. I mean, they're not like an older, you know, well experienced. I mean, our builder's 25 and he's No, he grew up in the Amish community, so he grew up, working with stuff and watching stuff get constructed and learning the ins and outs. And I think he worked with somebody else for a while, and so he's only been on his actual own for just a couple of years. So, um, I think the two biggest reasons that there were three reasons we actually chose him. One was he was available and he was actually willing to take on the project, because a lot of builders didn't want to touch it because they wanted to do the entire house. Their thoughts were, well, why would I want my name on the house if the inside gets ruined by somebody else? So that was a tough point. The second reason was he came recommended from Dean's Excavating, and a couple of your friends had used him too. So we heard around different circles in the area that he did good
And
work.
Julie said he was a good builder.
Yeah, our CAD lady was familiar with him too. They worked hand in hand with each other a lot. And price point, I mean, he was definitely within our budget. So to get everything shelled in, do the roof, do the siding, install the windows, install the doors. I mean, everything. I mean, originally, obviously we did the basement, but everything else. So it was 47,000 for him to do all of that. And I think the other builders we talked to were going to charge 200 to 250 just for. I thought it was just for the labor.
Mm-mm.
What price do you remember?
Around 100.
I think it was more than that just for the labor.
No, that was just for framing.
Anyway, it was substantially a lot more. But I mean, the less experience you have, it's harder to charge as much as somebody with more experience too. So, but after this build, I'm sure he's going to be gaining a ton of experience and thoughts on construction. So, I mean, he could, raise his price after this.
I mean, me and you have gone through and did a lot of stuff ourselves too.
Yeah, we did all the basement. We've done some stuff in here too. But I mean, we're paying them, so there's not really much point in doing everything ourselves since they're still getting paid regardless. I mean, they don't care if we're in here doing stuff; they're still getting their paycheck. What are you gonna put up in the loft? Hold on. We know what's like in a tornado alley. Have enjoyed watching you make hay, plant trees, and build your office barn and now the house. Keep up the good work. Thank you, David. After the huge crash of the computers this week, always have a backup to be able to use things manually. Thoughts on insulation? Sorry, I'm reading questions backwards. Insulation. Eric's toyed around with closed cell, and he's thinking open cell maybe for the ceiling.
Yep, we're doing open cell for sure on the roof.
That's for sure.
You don't want to do closed cell on the roof.
Well, because of the way our roof is designed.
No, any roof. They've been having issues with roofs rotting out because you can't tell there's a leak until your whole roof is rotted out.
Yeah. With
open cell, water will drip through and you'll see a stain on your ceiling.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, there must be a leak up there.
So, I mean, we definitely want a lot of good solid insulation. It's a little bit of a pain to roll bats up in that. And I wouldn't want to put bats in this type of roof.
I can't afford to do closed cell on the walls. You're talking,
they say 20
3 times the amount of money.
I thought they said, was it 15 for the whole house to do closed cell?
Open.
That was open was 15? What was closed cell?
Like, way more.
30?
Like, triple that. But that, you have to insulate the basement and the upstairs.
Right.
To get your occupancy permit.
Yeah, so, it's just, the roof is just one of those that kind of still gets you. Like I said, everything in here is not your standard.
Well, if we had a traditional roof truss where you had an attic, we would probably do blown-in insulation. That's the cheapest way to go. But with a parallel cord truss, you spray the roof deck, and then you have a warm roof, and you don't do any vented soffit or anything.
Yeah, so a warm roof means that the sun's going to hit it and warm it up, or that the air is going to hit it and warm it up.
Yeah, because there's no attic space.
Right. But you still don't want that condensation barrier. You don't want the cold hitting the warm and then causing condensation.
It's not going to be as warm as your heat goes through the drywall. There's not going to be any cold area. Because normally a roof, your insulation's here is keeping out the cold from your roof, is keeping out the cold.
Yeah.
So you have a cold attic.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have an attic.
Right. Just go fishing and let them do the building. Well, that would cost us more money then too. Let's see. What are we going to put up in the loft? So the loft, part of the loft is going to be our son's kind of like his little social area where he can do his computer games.
He wants to start doing YouTube too.
He can do computer games. He can do, watch TV, have his little, his space, the kind of tweeny bopper space.
He's trying to talk us into putting a ladder going from his bedroom up to the loft. That's what he wants us to do. Eamon said, just put a pole there. You can slide down right into the bedroom.
Just slide into his bed. Yeah, and then so part of it's going to be that, and the other part's going to be like an office space. It's just, making good use. The biggest thing with this house is just making use of the space and not having wasted space.
It could be a bedroom if you wanted it to be.
Yeah, it could be a bedroom.
But it
could be.
Yeah, there's a window up there.
Yeah.
But we'll probably just have it be an office.
So, it just gives us, finished space where the basement's unfinished space. So, but it's nice because, what else are you going to do with that part of the house?
It's just making use of the real tall wall.
Yeah. And it doesn't really add that much more money to turn into a room versus just running a tall wall straight up. So, it's kind of like our safe room. That's another one of those things. People fill them in all the time with sand and they don't finish converting them. When you put a porch in, you got to run those porch walls all the way down. And then people just fill them in with sand instead of just putting a cement slab on the bottom and then a cement slab on the top and boom.
Have you showed a picture of the loft yet?
No, because that's not. Then that would give away the front wall and all of that. So, suspenders, not belts.
So who's the one that's talking about going fishing? I have a nice boat if you want to come out and take me fishing.
You want someone to come out and take you fishing?
Yeah. Show me the ropes. I'm good at using a bobber with a night crawler.
Yeah, he's got he used to do fishing in Lake Michigan ages ago, but
like salmon fishing and stuff.
He's got a jet boat that he got purposely to go out on the rivers, but then he's too nervous to take it out. So.
Well, I need to get an anchor for the front.
Well, that's the.
I was told don't go in the rivers unless you have a front anchor, because if you have
a front anchor, it doesn't have to be. Like
if your motor dies out on you, want some way to stop.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to be floating a long ways.
Or just have some oars.
Mm-hmm.
What else are we going to talk about?
Oh, I got a nice view of Red House right here.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the hay rake and equipment right now.
Oh.
So what are you guys doing for crops out there? Are you guys having issues with droughts? I heard in South Texas Hay said that they're having issues with drought. So obviously we've had a lot of rain. You can see how dark green it is out here.
It's pretty dry though right now. The driveway is really dusty.
It is. It's just one of those things that it gets hot and it gets dusty. You need like a regular cycle of rain like once a week, I think. Eric, you'll need a life jacket too. Oh yeah. We have life jackets. Oh, he's in Sweden. It's kind of far to America, or he would take you fishing.
Oh, there you go.
Eric's family is actually Swedish.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, they were convinced that they were like, I don't know how much Swedish they were convinced they were, but they did a DNA test. They found out they're only like 8%. Okay, well, technically, I guess you So they would always do like Swedish meatballs and all these Swedish dishes and sweet.
All the little Swedish
decorate.
horses.
Yeah, decorate with Swedish horses and Swedish flags, and
That's all right.
so it's okay. It's fun to celebrate your diverse heritage.
Parents were from Sweden.
Well,
my grandpa's.
That's the kicker. Just because you're from somewhere doesn't mean that you're ethnically.
Well, everybody's mixed breed, you know. There's like.
Well, that is true. We're all like.
I mean, who invaded Sweden?
I don't know. I don't know.
What was that movies we watched?
Oh, it's not the Norwegians. The Norse?
They probably got some Viking blood in them somewhere.
Viking Norse. Could be. Okay, pond updates. It's winter in New Zealand. Blue and yellow, baby. Oh, so you guys are cold. Cold-ish. My sister actually went to New Zealand like years ago. She went and toured the Hobbit houses out there and some other things. Oh, she brought me back possum fur scarf, which is my favorite scarf. I think it is called New Zealand possum. It's the invasive species that you guys have out there that are like, you know, taking over everything. But
probably give you a big rash.
No, it's not. It's nice and soft. Oh, I think my camera's going dead. Shoot. What else did I see? Pond updates. So the pond updates, we've had some massive storms come through, like 65, 70 mile an hour storms, and it kind of shredded our windmill. So now that we have the SkyTrack here, we're just talking about that today. We're gonna go down with it, but it's gonna need some new parts. Yeah, it just turn out of the wind, and I don't know what happened, but it didn't turn.
She lassoed a rope around it to get it to stop.
Oh yeah, it was because it started tipping and then it started whacking.
I mean, if it had wings, it probably would have taken flight.
It would have taken flight. Yeah, it was. My neighbor called me. She's like, you got something going on with your windmill over here?" We had just gotten home, and I was like, "Oh boy."
I can't believe bits of metals flying.
Yeah,
You're
well,
lucky you didn't
it's
get
aluminum,
hit by
so it's pretty lightweight. So I know everyone was terrified it was going to just launch stuff in your face, but anything that came off from it, it just pretty much just fluttered right to the ground because it just is light. The possum came from Australia. We do not like them in New Zealand. Possum and merino wool is used in a lot of products. That's probably what it was. Yeah. Hey, you might as well repurpose those suckers out here in the United States. You know, things that overpopulate, we just shoot them and chuck them out in the woods. Except for me, I like to skin them out and feed them to Eric. I got a couple skunks in the freezer right now too. Does anybody have any good skunk recipes? Oh, so one of the things that we were planning to Meta to see Howard. She did. This is a couple years ago, so I don't remember the name of it, but I remember seeing her pictures. One of the plans, like if you guys have watched the channel for any length of time, you know that I like to hide places and scare mostly Eric. So we were talking about it, and we've got some really young builders, and it would just be the best thing in the world to just hide in the basement, and as they round the corner, have one of my old man masks on and just scare them.
I told her to hide in the tool crib when they open it up first thing in the morning.
Hide under a tower. I mean, there's 100 ways that I could do this. I mean, I did have a rubber snake in the porta potty, but I think the porta potty company thought it was real and must have pulled it out with tongs because I went back there later and it was missing. So I don't know what happened to it. But yeah, that's kind of on my mind now that we've got the major walls done and everyone's just going to kind of like float in on the rest of their stuff. I'm going to have to get my little planning clause going. So definitely expect to be seeing some of those popping in. Maybe I'll do some shorts on those. I don't know. We'll see. But if there's anything specific you guys would like covered in the videos, definitely leave me in comments. Let me know. Possum and skunk. Soak in buttermilk for a week. No skunks or snakes here either. What? You don't have any snakes? How is that possible? I thought every place had snakes. New Zealand's like a jungle country. You don't have any snakes? I didn't know of any place. Huh. Well, skunks, I mean, I guess I could see that as kind of like a regional type of thing, but snakes, I figured were everywhere except for Antarctica. All right. All right. So I think we're going to shut this down before my phone totally dies. So that way, hopefully it can process the video. But yeah, you know, if you guys come up with anything that you would like to see on the house that maybe didn't get covered or you'd like to get covered down the road, leave a comment on the videos, let me know. So that way we can always go back through and recover it. You know, if there's anything that you like change with editing, again, you know, just post a comment and my editor can see that and change it up. He's trying to play a little bit more with music that you guys will enjoy and down on my talking, like I mentioned. And you know, no butt cracks and no boob shots, as he does pretty good. I haven't noticed anything popping through, so he's pretty good at cutting all that stuff out. Like, there are times that I've edited my videos and I'm like, how did I miss that? Then I have to cut it out on YouTube. Although there is one picture that I clipped out of a video and I looked at it, I'm like, oh my goodness. And I'm not gonna tell you what it is. You'll know when you see it. I'm just like, yep, this would have been Eric if he had been here watching this front wall go up. A little tight. So I died laughing when I saw the picture. So I sent it to Eric and I thought he'd be mad, but he thought it was funny too. So I'll use it. I wouldn't use it without him telling me I could, because that would just be mean. But he thought it was funny, so we'll use it on something.
Is that my day I was struggling with wedgies?
Oh man, it was just, yeah, it totally fit the day. I had a heart attack the rest of the night after that front wall went up. I was like, yep, I kind of wish I had like an Angry Orchard or something in here, because definitely need to just chill. And it's hard to kind of flutter my feathers, but that came really close. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to give this a thumbs up if you found it enjoyable. I know it's just kind of us droning on, but go back and watch the time lapse. The time lapse is popping through. Hopefully you didn't miss it. Let me know what you thought of it. I've got time lapses running for everything out here, so I thought, oh, I should do one of just the basement, and then we can do one of just the main shell, and then we'll do one of various inside stuff, I think, maybe. So, yep. Different little fun videos. Right.
Did you get any drone footage of the front wall going up?
Is it going up? And we've got drone footage of it after it's up.
Oh.
So.
I probably could have got some of that, but I wasn't here. I probably would have crashed it.
You probably would have like run over and just smashed it right into the wall, and that would have freaked them out. Then they would have dropped it again, and then it just would have been.
Dropped it again?
All right. Anyway, guys, we'll see you next week, and check out the time lapse. Bye. I don't know how to turn this off. I don't know how to stop this. I have no idea.
Okay, now that Suzanne's gone.
I'm still here. How do I stop the time lapse? Or how do I turn this off? I don't even know. There's no like off button. Close. Nope. It's just gonna be me here for half an hour. Okay, right there. It was on my camera for some reason.